Keir Starmer is managerial, well-meaning, and probably every adjective for uninspiring. He's a bit dull. I'm Morten Morland. I'm the cartoonist for The Times and Sunday Times. Let's take a look at some of my cartoons of Keir Starmer.
We did it!
In 2024, Labour was elected with a landslide. Everyone was really excited. Something different after 14 years of Tory government. And at the first party conference, this problem with the donations that had accepted started coming in. Suits, glasses, concert tickets, all of this stuff suddenly came out, and they didn't seem that they'd done anything wrong. Which legally they probably hadn't, but it just looked wrong. And this idea that we had with that they were going to be different from the Tories with all the sort of sleaze and scandal that they had at various times. Now it looked like they were exactly the same. At the party conference, their slogan was "Change begins." After the election was change, now it was "Change begins." And I use that as the change that we're seeing is them shrinking from maybe our idea of them and what they were supposed to be, shrinking into their big new suits. All these Labour characters are actually quite fun to draw because they have quite a lot of character, despite Starmer being a bit dull. For example, Angela Rayner with her big platforms. I think also Rachel Reeve had accepted quite a lot of clothes, so it became very symbolic for their failings.
You're gambling with World War III.
February 2025, the debate was around Ukraine and about NATO and about how Western nations were going to support Ukraine, if at all. In Trump's case, people like Starmer, in particular Starmer and Macron, kind of trying to get him on board to continue the support for Ukraine, like Biden had. But to do that, they had to not offend him. Here I've drawn him as a much more animated character, doing gymnastics and bouncing around, which, you'd think be very positive, but in this case, it is a lot to do with him sort of bending over backwards in every other direction to please Trump. The cartoon is a mockery of Trump more than anything. It seemed to be the entire point of any interaction with Trump was not to offend him. In a sense, Starmer is quite a strong character here. He's doing quite impressive stuff, on the world stage, and he's not falling, he's not crashing here, he's doing quite well. So as sort of positivity goes, this is probably as close as it gets to me saying, okay, that's pretty well done. I love drawing Starmer, and I did not think I would, because when certain prime ministers come in, you spend quite a lot of time sort of getting them as characters, but he was sort of instantly dull. Which is probably so unfair, because apparently he's very good fun in private, but on stage in front of a camera he comes across just extraordinarily dull. And that sort of worked for me because that's something to work with.